No, like not many of them. It's mostly just like there hasn't been a whole lot of engagement, just a lot of subscriptions and following right now. I'm still in the stranger phase where people are just trying to get a feel for me. Um, but I think it's hope. Like I can really sell the hope aspect of things because I know every every problem or every video and everything I try and do, I already have some sort of solutions or some sort of ideas to run
Yeah.
with. It's just I've spent way too much on these tools. So like the I've been big into like finding these tools right now. So I've been trying them all. So thank you very
Yeah.
much because I'll
I mean,
definitely take a look at this anywhere where I can
yeah.
save.
Today's episode of my podcast story, we have Cody Johnston, a Canadian software engineer, entrepreneur, and the creative mind behind the word Canadian. Cody's podcast dives deep into the fascinating intersections of artificial intelligence, Canadian politics, and the digital landscape, all while uncovering the hidden systems that shape our everyday lives. With over a decade of experience in full stack development and a passion for storytelling, Cody brings a unique perspective to the table, blending technical expertise with a commitment to social change. He's here to share his inspiring journey on how he built his show from the ground up, fostering communities and sparking conversations that challenge the status quo. Join us as we explore the weirdness that connects us all and the meaningful impact Cody aims to create through his work.
tell us your name and the name of your podcast, and then what your podcast is about.
Sure. So my name is Cody Johnston. I started the podcast known as The Weird Canadian about 3 months ago. I kind of got a little bit viral over the Canadian election that we just had. But my podcast is mainly a lens for Canadian passions, progress, and problems. It started out as something that I wanted to kind of showcase to Canada. We've kind of lost our culture and lost a unity as people. And with this upcoming election and everything that's been going on in the world, I really felt it was necessary to come on and give highlight how Canada shines, how we've done so well, the things we've succeeded in, and just try and shine the light into Canadians trying to make Canada better. The passion that they bring along with that, like some of these small business owners are so passionate about like their communities and building up the frameworks for others. So I want to highlight that, but I also want to talk about the issues that we have in our country that have been put up by a good intention, but are impeding Canadians' way of life and is really making our way of life a lot harder for most people.
Oh, can you trace the path that led to you eventually starting the podcast? How did the idea come about?
Yeah. When I was, I've always wanted to do a podcast. It was one of those things like in college, you're like, oh, like, let's get some buddies together and start a podcast, but we never really had any ideas. But I've always been following what has been going on in the world. I was big into knowing what was going on. When I was young, I was listening to Al Gore and the climate change um, information that he was giving and really kind of getting a broader understanding of the world. Um, and then when I went to college and I kind of saw how life is, not really how we're told it is, um, I kind of got really frustrated with how it was working. Like the nothing really seemed to work properly. Um, and then as I grew, I got more into politics and how Canada worked. And after the U.S. election, I saw exactly how that went down. The problems on both sides of the party. Like it was a failure on both sides of the system to really inform the citizens. And I felt that with the Canadian election, it was my time to actually start saying something and being a voice in the noise, I guess, like trying to at least like uh, bring a voice of reason
Yeah,
to everybody.
yeah. I mean,
Just because that's what we need.
yeah. Well, this podcast is not exactly what would say came out of the blue. It's been it's an idea that's been around for a long time in your head, and things led to things, and eventually you got started 3 months ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just quit my job to start doing this full
Wow,
time.
wow. That's hmm, a lot of questions are coming. Okay, just before we start
Yeah.
asking some of the exciting questions I want to ask. I would love to like understand, okay, what the podcast is about and more like, how the podcast, the behind the scenes of the creation of podcast. Do you do audio only or you do audio and video?
It's audio and video.
Okay. Okay. What's the style of your podcast? And can you like describe it? Is it interview? Like what's a regular episode look like?
Yeah, so I don't have a real structure right now because we're still trying to figure that out. But right now it looks like we're doing two styles. One is an interview podcast, like this. So I am on Podmatch. I'm also going out to the community and finding people who really want to share their story because I really want to get into like in-depth storytelling with individuals in my country, showcasing the actual problems as well, but takes time and funding. So right now I'm working on just showcasing how AI is really big in the world, because that's the only reason I'm able to do all this. AI is helping me so much with like being able to talk, being able to connect, and really helping me create all these things. And then on top of that, I'm doing also like rant style videos, more like just talking about issues that we have, like with our legislation, our rules, things that I know about because I have a lot of experience in terms of government, software development, financial and economic backgrounds. I also have my partner is a nurse, so I have a lot of information in the healthcare system as well. So I'm just trying to like give my information out freely to everybody, but ultimately, I want it to become a community of people that really help to find issues and people who want to build up things. So I'm hoping to kind of build an audience that works towards a common goal of helping just build better things.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You do audio and video, and okay, and you do interviews. So you're basically just experimenting and testing out things until you then find out what's the content market fit, and then you're like, oh, we'll run with this. But for now, your podcast is pretty young, 3 months old. So there are a lot of time. These are the times for experimenting and trying out things until you strike good. Wow, that's brilliant. You mentioned your
Yeah.
partner. I just want to be clear. Is it your life partner or your business partner?
She's my life partner.
Okay. Because I wanted to know. Okay, do you have like a co-host and a business partner? Because you didn't mention that. Okay.
She's also my business partner. I run a 3D printing business with her as well, so we're also business partners.
But not your podcast partner. Okay.
No, this is 100% me because that's so. I'll give a little backstory for the podcast because I know you want to get into business as well. So I'm building this podcast as a business, purely because as a business, you're entitled to a lot more rights and protections than an individual. And I want this brand to stand for something people can believe in, and I want it to be protected. So I know I need to like be a little bit greedy with my company in order to protect the image and the values that I want it to stand for.
Yeah. When you say you build it as a business, so it can stand as a business, can you give us specific examples of what you mean by that?
So I'm still looking like it's still going to be for profit. So I'm going to try to get monetized on the platforms. I'll be doing extra content for people who can afford it. I never ask for anything aside from a like, comment, or subscribe because that's really all that's needed because the platforms themselves will pay us. Like I'm not worried about my community paying me. If they want to, they can. I will have other content that I will be selling because it is my work and my labor. So it's fair that I'm charging for it. But I never ask for any of that. I want to make sure that it's able to continue and that it's able to propagate. So eventually I want the Weird Canadian to become a brand that is known within all of Canada, be trusted. So something that like you don't need to think about to say, hey, was this product made in Canada? 100%? No, because it's got the Weird Canadian label on it. Like we know it's good because it's got the Weird Canadian. And instead of right now where we're like having to trace where every origin is and how it got to us, and it's becoming a very big thing in Canada. So I'm also looking at building this brand as just kind of an easy reminder to Canadians that, hey, this is for you. This stands for you, and we're going to protect it as much as we can.
Well, so many parts. I'm thinking of taking this the questions to as much as possible. I'll try to explore all the different parts. But the first thing I want to quickly us to quickly go through is You mentioned that you're the one handling the podcast. Do you have members? Have you hired help? You're just the one running it for now?
Yeah, so I actually have a small Discord community. It started just being a few people helping me out trying to get started. And then they went off and done their own thing. But then I had to hire, so with the success, I had to hire some editors. So I do have two editors, Amber and Kaylin. They're amazing editors. One's from the US and one's from the UK. Um, and they're helping me. They're excited with everything that's going on, and I'm excited to see the content they're generating because they they help me line my ideas. Um, it I'm a very big idea guy, but when it comes down to like putting them out, they kind of see the vision and can place that where it needs to go to properly send my message across. So I do have a small team right now, and I'm starting to build it. So I'm looking for like others to join in as a paid position. Um, we're just slowly growing. I'm finding out what I need as I need it. It's all new to me because I'm coming from an experience of no business at all. So this is a whole new
Yeah.
background to me.
Where you? What was your previous background before you started this?
So I was a software developer for 10
Wow.
years, 8 of those being with the Ministry of Transportation in Ontario, and 2 being with the FIS Global, which is a financial banking institution.
Wow. Okay. So you're coming from. You're techie. You're a tech guy. So yeah, you're tech bro. So yeah, figuring out the stuff and all that. That's not really a big deal for you. Unlike some persons that probably their first approach at tech is probably podcasting. Okay. Right now, the apps, the softwares, the tools, and everything that goes into the production of the podcast. Can you name some of them and probably just give us a rough ballpark of how much it costs for the softwares, and maybe every month or every year, depending on the one you can answer?
Yeah. So the primary one that I use right now is called HeyGen. It's a AI translating tool. So it takes all of my content and it translates it into whatever language I want it to be in with my voice and my words, like my mouth. So lip syncing the whole 9 yards. I'm paying for the pro plan, which came out to about $1,000 for the year. I get 30 minutes, 30-minute clips, unlimited, 4K. It's a great membership for anybody who wants to be multilingual and to get their message across. The other tool I'm heavily using is called Spotter Studios. It is a new tool out of LA. They are an idea generator. So essentially, it's an AI tool that you come in with an idea, like an idea for a video or something. You type in kind of what you're going for. It will come up with the thumbnail, the title, the hook, give you a bunch of different variations, and then walk you through the building of that video with you. So it essentially helps you build an idea and brainstorm without having to bring in a bunch of other people to help you. Couple other tools I use. So trying to see what I have here.
Take your time.
So I have Cursor as well. Cursor as well. Oh, sorry. So for Spotter Studios, I believe it's only $300 for the year, and they run contests and they have Discords, like they're trying to build it up. It's still a fresh tool. A lot of these tools are still fresh, so they're still a little bit cheaper than they will be. But for the most part, Opus Clip as well, to take my long form clips and make them short form, so that I can engage with my social media stuff like that. And the other one I'm using right now is called TranscribeTube, which essentially takes any video clip or audio clip or transaction that I pass in and gives me the full audio translation, the text translation, so that I can use all of the transcript of the video to translate that with ChatGPT into prompts or details for the video. So essentially, I don't have to come up with a crafted description anymore. I take the entire transcript and let an AI handle what the description is.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how you get like virality and SEO and all that.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you use for editing the video? Okay. You're not the one doing the editing, but what does your team use for editing the video?
I believe they're just using Adobe After Effects or DaVinci Resolve. They're using their own tools because they're just contractors for right now. I haven't supplied them with anything. they get the raw video, they edit it for me, and then I do all of the AI related things.
Okay. Earlier on you mentioned that for each of the videos, you make, you take the transcript and you make stuff with ChatGPT. Just a suggestion. I think there's a tool out there now, right now. I don't know if you've heard of lifetime deals. It's called Cast Magic.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can check it. You can just check for Cast Magic as AppSumo and probably just see the stuff. So basically, you're a software developer, so you understand what I mean. So they are looking for like funding as a pretty early tool. So they will sell lifetime deal, but then they'll go back to being a SaaS tool. So right now they are selling the tool for life. So once you upload your video, audio, it will transcribe it, and you can basically customize and add your preset prompts once and for all, so that every time you upload an audio, it will transcribe it, and then once you click on generate, it will generate all the different stuff once and for all for you. So if you added show notes, it's going to bring show notes. If you added, okay, I want every video to give me follow-up titles, give me key takeaways, give me quotes, and on stuff like that, and it's just going to do everything for you. So that ChatGPT is nice, but I don't want to. If you're producing a lot of videos, you don't want to keep prompting every time and again and again and again. Like the first time when you're coming up with prompts, it's nice, but if you're doing this thing maybe 30, 60, it's a lot of work and it's unnecessary work. So you might as well just put it once and for all and do it. And the sweet thing about Cast Magic is it looks as if I'm selling the tool, but the other tools is not just Cast Magic. The other tools like PodSquiz too. The sweet thing is that you can add members of your team inside Cast Magic. So you can say, okay, once the stuff is generated, someone can go copy and paste and distribute for you. Unlike ChatGPT, nobody can really get access to your account. Yeah. So that's something you can add to your workflow, so that it gets to save time.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah, please do.
I've spent way too much on these tools, so like I've been big into like finding these tools right now, so I've been trying them all. So thank you very much, because I'll definitely take a look at this anywhere where I can save.
And the plan I got right now is I think I'm trying to upgrade, because the lifetime deals is by tiers. So the one I got is I get 2,400 minutes per month of transcription. That's about 40 hours of transcription per month. How much did I pay? I paid $699. Yeah, for life. So every month it renews every month. So I know that maybe after 3 to 4, 5, 6 months, I'll get my money worth back, and then I get to use it for like the next year, as long as the software is still for functioning. And the tool, they look like they are doing well. Yeah. So that's one of the things that's like be saving me in the production process. Okay. So you use ChatGPT, and you're outsourcing work to contractors, and they get to produce the videos and all that. Now, if I call your podcast a national podcast, right? I would be right. Would I be right? Right?
Yeah, I would say that.
So it's a Canadian podcast to help you explain everything about the election, sensitize Canadians, talk about the major problems, and offer solutions regarding the Canadian experience. Okay. Now I want us to really go, because this is a business podcast. So I want us to really have a conversation regarding the money aspects, right? What would you say is like the value your podcast provides for people? Why would they why would they come to your podcast? Have you had a chance to talk to your listeners or your viewers?
No, like not many of them. It's mostly just like there hasn't been a whole lot of engagement, just a lot of subscriptions and following right now. I'm still in the stranger phase where people are just trying to get a feel for me. But I think it's hope. Like I can really sell the hope aspect of things, because I know every problem or every video and everything I try and do, I already have some sort of solutions or some sort of ideas to run with. It's just I can't extend myself that many. Like if I could be in 100 places, I would do this 100 different ways. But I can't. So it's really trying to inspire and generate hope for people that they can build a better life by tackling a problem we have and a problem that they have. It's really just shining a light that's how you get up in this world, is just finding something you're passionate about, something you want to solve, and then figuring out how to solve it and make money from it.
Yeah. And right now, my brain is just tinkering. I would call it your business right now. It's a media business, right? Because Yeah. So
Yeah.
currently, I don't know what stage you're in, but you're probably looking for advertisers, sponsors, partners, and yeah, you get for the whole idea and the concept. And how frequent do you publish episodes?
I'm doing twice weekly right
Okay,
now.
twice a week. Okay. You're doing twice a week, and the same thing goes out on YouTube, goes out on all the podcast platforms. And I'm guessing you're active on TikTok, Instagram, and all the other platforms out there.
Blue Sky is my home, but yeah, I'm also active on every other
So
one.
how do you manage being active on all these other platforms? Like I can barely think of six, and you have to post on all these platforms. How do you do it?
So mostly social media management. So there's with Opus Clip, with my short form content, it's easy for me to post because it allows me to schedule that content.
Yeah.
So it creates the narrative, the description, the title, everything you need, and it's going to be more viral oriented. And then it just feeds into a calendar system. So it's really easy to schedule those things. I am looking into more robust tools because I'm getting a little bit bigger. So I've just bought a subscription to a company called SocialBee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they use, yeah. So they're using ChatGPT to kind of orient your schedule, kind of figure out what your company is, how your content's created, and then build you analytics and a schedule that best fits you. And then does all the posting, uploading, everything. Like these tools are becoming so easy to set up that it's really helping being across all of the platforms. And in terms of like even responding to them, all of my content for the messages is in the same place. So everything, regardless of what platform it's on, it comes to the same place, so I can message in the same place.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I guess with the way technology is advancing, all it makes it easier for us to, like, if we know the tools and all that, to build a media business without having. In the past, you would have to have maybe one person for each of those platforms, but now with the tools, you can just push everything out to all these platforms. And
We're about to get even further where we won't even need to, like, I could just tell my computer to push it and it will figure it
yeah,
itself out.
yeah.
That we're almost
Yeah,
at
we're
that
almost
point.
at that point. So we're getting there. And I think for those people that are making a mark and building something now, they get to really, how do I put it now? They get a bigger share when that time eventually comes.
There's a lot of impressive technologies out there and a lot of smart people just trying to get them out.
Yeah. Wow. Do you thought, or do you have plans to kind of partner with local stations, local TV stations, kind of like to have maybe an episode time, so to air. How do I put it now? It's a media company, and as much as possible, distribution is king. You get you we what we're creating. We know what you're creating is valuable content, right? Now, of course, we're going to refine the
Yeah.
technical aspect of what valuable content is, but the content in of itself is valuable. But we might say, okay, we change. Okay, we want to put the hook and put this and packaging and all that, which we change, but the content itself is valuable. So we want to make sure that we squeeze every juice we can out of that content as much, because we media. If it was okay, if it was, let's say we are selling a business,
Yeah.
getting lead, probably if we get 3-5 leads, that's not really a big deal. But our stuff, our content is the product. So we might as well just put it in front of more eyeballs so we can get more subscribers, get more sales, and every other thing, right? So how do you have plans? Because I've interviewed people where they tell me that I think I'm just going to share this with you. I had a guest, and she told me that she there was a time she paid for, I think, an hour or so of radio time, and what happens is that she owns that time. So when she pays for that time, what she does is that she later goes out and looks for us to come be on the radio show, right? And then she adds those
Mhm.
sponsors to so. And the funny thing is that they are always sponsors, and it's easy to see those sponsors. If you just start listening to the radio, let's say you start listening to your local radio, you hear a lot of common advertisements popping up here and there. These people are already spending money on radio ads, and so when you reach out to them, say, "Yeah, I'm already creating a valuable content," because most of them, they don't even, their ads is when people are like not within valuable content. It's just maybe after the, okay, when is like the worst time on radio when nobody's listening, uh like during that period when they play music where they're just trying to, like, cover the time till the next valuable program. So they would gladly come on the show, and usually by checking the inventory of these local stations, you can get a sense of, okay, how much they usually charge for airtime. And then you can also use your own budget and add and say, okay, I want to get 3 sponsors on my show. It's 1 hour, and maybe the beginning, the middle, and the end, depending on how frequent you think is reasonable. And then you get to break even, and then you also get to make some money. And the sweet thing is that you already created content. So it's not like you now have to go create another content. No, it's just simply you're going to take that podcast episode, just do some little edit and say, okay, send it to them, and then you add their ads. And yeah, I've been thinking of that, but
So in Canada, it's a little bit harder because our media is very controlled. I just actually have a video coming out next week about this. We have a bill called C-18, which really restricts sharing of news on social media sites like Facebook and Meta. So we technically, if we start talking about news, we get limited and kind of silenced on in the Canadian landscape right now. We are working to try and build that up. There's a lot of movement in the independent journalism space to bring out to try and get rid of these stupid rules that kind of silence us. But I do have some connections with the CBC, which is our local news organization. So I am planning on reaching out soon enough. I think with what I'm trying to do, I'm going to make a lot of impact on at least my province. And I have a feeling I'm going to generate a lot of just local news because of the things I want to do just to build up where I live.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I didn't get to ask you, but how do I put it now? What you're doing can count as journalism, but usually when I hear news, what I think of is if the moment you mention news, I think of those things that the moment it's the next day, you will not want or look at it or even consider it, right? So when you say news, I just want to confirm from you. Is that what you're saying when?
It's
Okay, let me put it this way: the stuff you're posting,
yeah.
right?
Sorry, rephrase.
The stuff you're posting, will someone want to watch it? I'm not talking about the someone doing research or trying to look at the past. Would they want to watch it?
My content would be more educational, like it's more informative.
Okay.
So I believe my content is more not just in news, it's more just talking about the ideas and the topics. So I try and stay away from the political spectrum. Like I poke at the government a lot, but I try and keep it to the ideas and the policies that I pick at more than the people.
Yeah, I want us to do something interesting. I don't know. Are you calling from your?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you because this episode will be on YouTube too. So can you go to your YouTube channel and then you can share your screen, and so that the people who can see what some of the episodes looks like, and that way you get to plug in your YouTube channel. Yeah. For those that are
Hey, just a quick break. If you enjoying the insights so far and want even more behind the scenes ideas, inspiration, and tools for growing your own podcast, join my email list at mypodcaststory.com/join. That is mypodcaststory.com/join. You get access to helpful resources, exclusive updates, and the kind of stuff I only share with my email subscribers. Whether you're starting out or already podcasting, there's something valuable waiting for you. Head over to mypodcaststory.com/join and subscribe. Now, back to the episode.
Canada, please go check out the Udian. Can you see the of course you're a tech guy, so it should be easy for you to yeah, okay. Wow, the branding is wonderful.
I'm still working on the branding actually. We're gonna do a rebrand in the next month or so.
Is that French?
So for the most part, it's just kind of
oh, that's true. Canada speaks French.
Videos kind of where
okay.
Yes. We're multilingual.
Okay. That's you?
No.
Okay. Can you show me something
I don't speak anything but English.
Show me something that is English, because I have no idea what those titles mean. Except you, of course, you want to translate for me.
So I got the English
what
stuff
if I
well.
ran for Prime Minister? Okay. What if I ran for Prime Minister? 5 bold ideas to fix Canada with AI immigration. Okay. I mean, this is how do I put it, in between news and evergreen. So it's not too much with news, but most of the predictions you'll be making will be relevant to this time. and the stuff that happening this time. So
Yes.
yeah, what no one's telling you about voting in
I'm really
Canada.
trying to yeah, I really want to make sure that people kind of understand Canada, because I feel like that's been a big lack in our country over the last decade or so. We've kind of become more American,
Yeah,
and it's become a real problem, because when it came to our election, um, our politics are completely different, but they're applying the same mentality and the framework, which doesn't really sit, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't,
yeah,
the whole left right doesn't work in Canada because we
yeah,
don't have left right,
yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah, done.
So it's just kind of like, I just want to inform people more than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I'm the idea, the company plan is becoming clear and clear. Okay, okay. But I won't say, oh yeah, that's true. So the way you're positioned, you are at a place where you're not locked in news. You have a vision and you can basically do it anyway. And the sweet thing about this thing is that because of the vision you have, you can say, oh, it's news I want to talk about. I want to use news to people. And you could also say, no, I want to make documentaries. I want to make deep dives. I want to do interviews. I want to have some of the Canadian celebrities and, you can basically use different parts towards it. And for me, I'm just going back to that idea I shared earlier on. I understand that once you start telling news, you're locked into this source, which also means you can do some evergreen content that is completely no news. And how do I put it now? I'll give an example. This might not even apply to you, but I just want to paint a picture of what I mean. And there was a show I used to listen to, a local radio show I listened to. It's called I Remember My Days. And so basically what they do is they invite some of the, big names of the people they really respect in our local community, and they get to ask them and interview them. And some of the persons they interview, I really love them. These were like the names I heard when I was growing up in my community. And now the sweet thing now is that it doesn't have to be, it could be a show you make. It could be the weird Canadian show for kids, right? Where some of the names people look up to for kids and all that, and then you just invite them, you talk to them, and you have a conversation with them for 1 hour. That stuff has nothing you get, and it could probably not be applicable to your vision. And I'm just sharing an idea. You get, I'm just sharing the concept. It has nothing to do with news. And I don't feel I feel like that's the laws you talked about will not apply to stuff, because it's more like an autobiography. Because the funny thing is that most times people respect the heroes when they die. That's when people start talking about, oh, this guy was great. So it would be nice to really have a conversation about these local people that are that have done some really important thing in our community. Get to talk to them, get to like interview them and have a conversation with them, and that way sponsors will come. A lot of sponsors will want to sponsors. So most sponsors don't really like touching it when it comes to ads. Yeah, yeah. So sponsors will want to come to that show and sponsor you, partner with you. It's a media brand. You understand? I know as much as possible. It's just you starting
I,
out, but you're building a media brand, and subsequently you could have.
my entire goal with this was to make sure that I can get my message to as many people as possible. So I intentionally made my channel in a way where I really have the ability to go off in different things. And also, I don't think I could be on one topic for too long without losing a bunch of interests, just personally. And I want this to really be something that lasts. So just using my own curiosity is what's driving this, like, my content, because it's more, I want to know and understand. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. So that's kind of where I'm like, I'm going to give the content to everybody.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, because the why this idea you just shared fascinates me so much is because I've been thinking of creating a local meat brand for like I'm calling from Nigeria now. I've been thinking of creating one for probably the state, which is more like the province over in Canada, but yeah, we call it state, right? So kind of like a local media brand. Let's say let me start small, and then probably later on we'll do national. But I was like, yeah, because most of these local stations, TV stations, they're struggling to find content. It's not like there's no good content out there, but you just can't go and pick somebody's content. You need copyright, you need permission, you need so many other things. So it's really hard. Sometimes I listen to the radio shows. I don't know how Canada is over there because I don't listen to those stuff. I could if I wanted to do. I think there's a platform called Radio Garden I could use to like listen to radio stations all over. I could, but the radio stations yet. I'm like, because I've seen YouTube, I've been on YouTube, I've seen really great content, I've seen it, but on radio shows. I'm like, what's going on here? These guys play music for the next 2 hours. They call it one show. And you and I know that it's because the TV station or the radio station, they cannot find uh, somebody to pay for that airtime. That's why they are playing music. And I just smile.
Yeah. It it's just well, there always will need to be radio people, and people are starting to change more to podcasts as they're driving too. But yeah, starting the reason I think like a lot of people are starting their own media brands is because yeah, it's just that the legacy ones have kind of lost their way. They don't know how to entertain anymore, and it's now
Yeah.
time for market mechanics to work, right? Like the best person is going to beat out, or the best product's going to beat out the worst product. It's just the new generational shift that we have to get through.
Yeah.
That's the fun is telling our ancestors, or not our ancestors, our elders that they need to move out of the way for us.
Yeah, and it's funny you say earlier on. I used to believe that radio, newspapers, and all that it's old fashioned. Nobody does those things anymore. But then I go and I listen to radio, and I hear ads upon ads upon ads, because I'm like, dude, somebody's paying for ads. It means because I'm thinking that as a businessman, they're doing this thing. These people, they're running this ad month after month after month. They must be seeing something from it. Like, you get, so it means something is working, and we might as well leverage it. And the sweet thing about it is that, just bouncing off ideas, is that a lot of persons will hear your program on the local radio station, and they will love it, and then they go check you out on Spotify, check you out on Apple, check you out on YouTube, and then go listen to it. Radio, you can't, once the show is over, it's over. You can't go back to backlogs, back episodes, and all that. And it's a really neat idea. That for me, the fact that you can create one content and distribute it into multiple forms, that for me, it's genius, honestly. So I'm always thinking, how can I do it?
I've even started finding video editors that allow you to take a news article now and turn that into a completely video oriented. It'll come up with a generated script. It'll
Yeah, and then
everything for
you
it. So
use your
you
custom
don't even have to
avatar.
read the news anymore.
Yeah, a custom avatar in
Yeah.
Agent, and it's like, oh, hey guys, did you see this stuff? And stuff. Yeah. Like, a lot of persons are crushing it. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Right now, and I don't know, and you just let me know what you're comfortable with sharing, and yeah, right now, what's the monetization?
So we're still at zero. So I'm in a position right now where I have taken. So the reason I left my job is because I'm comfortable. My partner is still working her full-time job. We're able to take this risk. So I'm actually using my life savings to generate this. So I'm funded for a year, bare bones, to do 2 videos a week for the next year. If I was to get nothing. Monetization, though, I have started looking into getting grants. Canada right now is really big on entrepreneurship. So I'm looking into grants and angel investors to try and just generate some profit to get a little bit more production value. Right, the production value and the quality gets better as the money comes in. So that I also have a Patreon account, and I'm going to also integrate my 3D printing business in and bring in actual physical memorabilia and stuff as well. So it's a lot of setup, nothing rolling in yet.
Yeah, that's when you say explain everything. I think you are set up. You have the content now, and what is left is for the audience to come to grow, and then the money starts growing. And I was like, wow, that's it's strange, because if you why do I feel like I'm saying too much? If you start a show on maybe a local station, these people, they already have, you get. But then, because you're paying for 1 hour of time, you can negotiate that. Oh, I'm also so. You just mention one reputable local station, and then people will just see you legit, right? They're like, this guy, yeah, it's this station, it's big, and like that. And then you get to like collect sponsorships, and then you can say, okay, if you guys sponsor me very, very well, I can talk about you on my YouTube channel too. This video will also go on my YouTube channel, on my podcast. I can still add you, and then you can negotiate really good sponsorship packages. Yeah, because I mean, the people, how do I put it now? People are willing to sponsor as long as they know that the audience is really, how do I put it now, really, really targeted and engaged. Wow, that's
They there's a lot coming in the next year or so, especially around content. You're going to see an explosion of new creations, new ideas,
yeah,
new TV shows. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Now is the time to get a show if you want one,
yeah,
because next year it's going to be flooded. But yeah, it's just so anyways, I'm new to the island. I'm still learning
yeah.
everything about the island. I just moved here last year, so I'm still trying to figure out how everything works here. But yeah, I definitely will look into that because I didn't even think about going out and talking to like the locals like that. And now I'm sorry, got my brain going.
Yeah, it's a good thing you mentioned that because there was a question. Sorry, there was a suggestion I was about to make, but I forgot when I started talking about the first one, and that was are you doing newsletter?
No, not yet. I don't think I have enough for a newsletter.
I don't understand when you say you don't think. Well, can you explain it one?
Like I have my content and things, but I don't have something that I would classify as a newsletter yet. Um, right now, because of everything's kind of all up in the air. I have so much going on. It's really hard to figure out what my path, like what my firm path is yet. So being so extended, it's hard to know what I'm going to end up with. And I didn't think a newsletter was right for me right now. If that
Oh,
makes sense.
oh. And the for me, it's if you build a newsletter and you realize in the future that you don't need it, you can always discard it. But if in the future you realize that I need a newsletter, whoa, I wish I built it. I wish I had one. And I think there's some guys I could suggest for you that are like crushing out the local newsletter game, and they're like really doing well. There's one called, I don't know if you know of Naptown, CCM City,
No,
Winnipeg.
I
Okay, maybe okay,
okay.
probably those ones. Those are, I don't know if they are in US or Canada, but these guys are really crushing it. And what they do is they're a local newsletter, and it's not like can just look at them and see, okay, these are what they're doing, and these are some of the things I could do for my own stuff. Is that they don't do news, right? It's not news, but what they do is they are pretty local, and I don't know if I should call it town or province, but they compile events and then they send this, I think, twice or three times. And when some of their subscribers are birthdays, they can reach out to them and then buy a shout out. Right now, because it's a local newsletter, it makes sense that somebody wants to buy a shout out. Just like I don't know if they do this in Canada, but when I was listening to radio, there was a time where people could pay for about 30 seconds airtime, and then they could wish someone, and the radio station
Yeah.
would call the person's name and say, so person is wishing you a happy birthday, and they will do all the wishing and all the stuff. And yeah, so I saw that idea and I was like, oh yeah, that's but for me the challenge is that a lot of the persons that I want to give value to, most of it they don't read newsletters, they don't even open their email or stuff like that. And so that for me was like a major challenge, right where I am. The population is not that high, which will be different over there. But newsletters is it's kind of, I mean, you can always rebrand and people can always unsubscribe, but at the end of the day you have full control. And yeah, yeah, yeah. With the way
Mhm.
everything is
You're definitely
integrated, yeah,
giving me ideas to run with, that's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And newsletters, they have how do I put it now? They have a very high monetization. Yeah, yeah, and you get to revenue.
Mm,
Unlike YouTube,
that's
yeah,
right.
you take 50% and stuff like that. You keep everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's I bet is okay. So now the question is, okay, we've talked about monetization and we've talked about some of the business model. I bet it's time for us to. It's 3 months into the podcast, and yeah, that's it's a bold step, and took. I'm know as much as it feels like you took a risk. You actually better, not justness, and that is, I mean, I'd love to have you on the podcast 1 year from now, and then we'll talk about how things are going. I'm excited. I'm invested in this story. I feel like, yeah, I'm invested in this story. I would love to see how it goes. So I guess I want to ask you right now is what's the growth?
So the growth plan right now is to just I'm focused on getting one video. So I have these weird milestones. I'm focused on one video hitting 100,000 views.
Okay.
Um, that is my first milestone, and that's when I'm like, okay, I've made this. This is a career I can do. Um, after that, I'm really kind of hoping to just follow in the greats. Like just go up and continue my content and then extend out into philanthropy, fixing problems. Like I want to do what Mr. Beast did with chocolate in other industries. Like um, the goal out of all of this is to change the world. Um, because the only way we're going to is if we have people who are willing to do this, right? Um, this all started out of me really having a deep look at my life and realizing that I wasn't happy with making money and being successful and being um, my own person, my own individual, doing my own thing and staying on the sidelines. I felt very depressed and sad. Um, the moment I started working towards changing and fixing things and seeing this vision, the more hopeful, the more happy I've been. Like we're laughing because like I'm dead broke, but I'm having the best career and the most success I've ever felt in my entire life. And I know a lot more people can experience this if they just can understand. So I want to bring people up. I want to teach them how to do this and how to take control of their life. And I hope to see much more people on the stage with me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
You just shared it, but I'm I'm lost right now. Like you shared your top level,
Yeah.
vision that I was hoping to like see some of the like, okay, this is the growth level we're going to be using, or this one has been working for us. This is what we're going to. I noticed you've been guessing on podcast.
I don't think I'll ever fall into so I don't think I'll ever fall into a category of niche or like direction. Like my films will definitely or my videos will definitely have like a style. But I don't think I'll ever be constrained to one thing because my brain is I'm too bored by the same thing over and over again. I need fresh things and I think my audience will as well. But my goals ultimately are to build up others, not to succeed myself. At the very least, if my channel can change one person and help one person succeed, I've succeeded. That's all my goal has been out of this. I have plenty of other career paths that I've now come to fruition through just learning all of this. I now know a path that will make me happy regardless of if this doesn't work out, but I want to give people the opportunity that is within people's reach and that they don't know. Uh, and the end goal, if my channel becomes as big, I am going to end up making boatloads of anime with the best creators, and you will see me never again because I will just be streaming that content 24/7.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
That's my selfish goal.
AI hasn't really touched this anime and animation tree. Well, I'm curious what will
It's
happen when
coming.
they touch that
It's
part.
coming fast.
Yeah, it will be nice for us because I have some crazy ideas I want to create with animations and but I don't know any of those stuff, and that stuff is hard. It takes a ton of time to make just maybe 5-10 second animation. Those guys are really trying. Probably that's why they pay.
It's going to get to the point where you or I are going to be able to create the great masterpiece is just by having the idea in our head. And it really comes down to passion for what you're wanting to build. Everybody loves these stories that are coming out with worlds that are generated from these people's imaginations. And that's all we need more of. We need more imaginations, more stories, more things to entertain us because that's what really I think changes the world is our storytelling. The only reason I'm the content oriented as I am is because of the great storytelling that I grew up with, I've learned, I've studied essentially, and I just love. So I want more people to be able to see it, more people to be able to obtain the ability to see their worlds realized.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have to take baby steps, and eventually, in software, there's what they call product market fit, right? Same thing. You're doing content market fit. You're testing things, trying things. The moment you decide, oh, so this is what, oh, I have this vision, but this is how my audience, this is what like is the right stuff, and then you're like, boom, you start creating content. It's getting tons of views, and you're wondering, well, it's still the same me, it's still the same value and stuff, but now everything is just working out because you found a way for the listeners to consume the content. And yeah, wow, that's it's it, because most of the persons I've been having the podcast, they've been, my podcast is for my business, stuff like that. Now this is a media brand, and this itself, it's what how it makes money. And yeah, there's some other companies, because I've always been fascinated with the idea of media brand, and I don't know if you, yeah, it's I think a US company or so. Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
yeah. I saw when I think I listened to one of our episodes on founders, on CNBC something, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. I was like, I would love to make something like that. And I noticed that, of course, she now has investors and all that, but she has different brands under the whole umbrella of Blavity. And now she probably is not even the face of the brand or anything. But now with AI and all that, you like, I mean, back in the day, what you could do is probably limited, but with AI, you can increase like your production, like as if you had maybe like 50% some, and yeah, yeah, that is
I'll give you I'll give you a little tidbit on the next episode that I have coming out Tuesday, I believe.
okay.
I talked with Drake Wolf, who is the creator of Agentix, which is a company with just AI. So you can run an entire company by yourself with just AI.
Oh.
Marketing, video creation, copywriting, data analytics, everything. They will do it all for you from a single prompt.
Wow, wow. Probably I'll go check that out so that I can have a more, business is all about,
Yep.
yeah, the more leverage
It
you
was a
have.
great conversation, and yeah,
Yeah,
you'll get a lot of it. I appreciate podcasts for this because I'm getting to see a lot of people and different experiences, and I'm getting a lot of it's been fun because I get to like pick from other brains and create this experience that is unique to everybody.
yeah,
It's so much fun.
yeah. You said the episode is coming out on Tuesday.
I'm hoping that's what I'm going for. I'll see if my editor can hit that.
Okay,
We're
okay.
still working on the scheduling.
Yeah, because I'd love to like check it out. So that's why I'm asking. I'm interested in listening to that episode. Wow. Um, Before we go, what's one final advice you have for someone thinking of I want us to give a specific I want you to give a specific advice. So what is the advice you have for someone thinking of starting a media brand or media podcast or a podcast, something like a business like yours? What advice?
So there's a few different ways you can structure it. If you were to do it as me, so I'll phrase this as if you're coming as a personal brand, you want to do a YouTube channel, you want a podcast. The hardest thing I had to do was post my first video, and that's all it takes. If you can post your first video, I can guarantee you every other time it gets so much easier and it becomes more exciting and less stressful. The one thing I give as advice, don't be afraid of what other people are going to think. You're doing this for yourself, not for them.
Yeah. You're doing this for you, not for him. Thank you so much, Cody. I feel like we could keep on chatting on and on, talking about the business, and because this is something I'm really, really interested in. Probably when in the future I do start my own local media brand, I'll reach out to you. And if I see anything that seems to be working in the industry, I'd love for us to just stay in touch. That's what I'm saying, basically. Yeah. Even at the podcast.
I'll send you my personal.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email and you can have all my goods.
My bad. Usually I do this after the end of the. Where can listeners learn more about what you do and check out?
So on any social media platform under the Weird Canadian, it's at the _weird_the Canadian. Sorry for the weirdness, but if you just look up the Weird Canadian anywhere, I'm more than likely to show up. I do have a rebrand coming in 2 months, so just be cautious. I am going to completely change my image. But it'll be for the better. It'll be a long-lasting image. I'm really proud of where we're getting with this.
Yeah. I'm curious, and I would love to see what what the brand will be. Obviously, you guys have the domain, the Weird Canadian, right? Okay, so which will simply just redirect to whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weirdcanadian.ca.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I was talking shop before the episode was over. Yeah, I'd love for us to stay in touch. Yeah, and just test that.
I'll send you my personal email, and you can reach out whenever.
Please.
And we can connect.
Please do. Right. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad you came on the podcast. I'm glad I started this podcast. It's episodes like, I'm happy I started.
That's it for today's episode of my podcast story. I am Wisdom Okonkwo, and I hope this conversation sparked new ideas and gave you a deeper look into the heart of podcasting. If you've loved this episode, consider supporting the show by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/wisdomhq. Every bit helps keep the stories going. And hey, don't forget to follow, rate, and share this podcast with another podcaster or creator who would find it helpful. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.